So the next template we're going to be creating is our template for what? Foundation trench excavation. To create our template for foundation trench excavation, like we always do, go to the templates section, right? Click on the tutorial tab that you've already created. Then you can see the taking off lists for all the templates that we've created so far. Now, foundation trench excavation is measured in what? Cubic meters, meaning that we need to determine the volume of what? Excavation. PlanSwift does not provide us with volume to measure, right? So we're going to be using the same approach. Click on what? New area. So after that, you are going to be renaming it to as what? Foundation what? Trench excavation. Now pick a color. Let's just pick blue. So now, since we know that foundation trench excavation is measured in cubic meters, we've already selected area 2. So all we just need to do now is to create a new property called depth. So if I go to my advanced, if you have been watching closely, this should not be new to you now. So how do we create a new property now? We go to this place, click on new property. A tab is going to pop up. So we're going to call it what? Depth, right? And I want it to be created on the what? Takeoff data row, right? And you click on what? OK. So you can see now that depth has what? Been created, right? So change the units to what? Meters, right? So after you change this to meters, now you're going to copy this depth to the what? Formula at the quantity section. So click, hold, drag, right? You can see quantity here. So what you just need to do now is to paste, right? So make sure that there's a multiplication sign in between. So this takeoff means area. So area times depth to give you what? Volume. So change the units to what? Cubic meters. Right, good. So after that, like we always do, we want the depth to be showing in our what? Properties tab. As you can see, it's not showing, so we want it to be showing in our what? Properties tab. And how do we do that? Make sure that this place is what? Checked. So you check this and you click on what? OK. So now let's try and what? Measure. So now we go to our page. So we go to the foundation layout where we have the plan for what? The foundation. So this is what we're going to be using to what? Carry out our measurements. So now, how do we measure? Like we always do, go to the templates section. You see foundation trench excavation. You what? Click on the green button. So now the depth. How do we find our depth now? You don't just assume any depth when you're measuring. You have to make sure that you calculate it based on what is in your drawing, right? So now if you look at this now, like I said before, there's a section here through AA, and this section is cutting the what? Foundation trench, right? So you can see this section here, right? They told us that from the top of the oversized concrete down to the top of the column pit or the foundation footing is what? 1350, right? The thickness of the what? Footing is 225, and the thickness of our blinding is what? 50 mm, right? The wideness of the trench is 675. So now how do we determine our actual depth from the stripped level? Because remember, before we did remove topsoil. So all we just need to do now is this. Let me centralize this. So all we just need to do now is this. Since we know that from here to here is 1350, so we're going to be adding 225, and we're going to be adding what? 50 mm blinding. Whatever we have, we're going to be minusing 150 mm topsoil from it. So if I go to my calculator now, 1350 plus 225 plus 50 is equal to what? 1625. So minus what? Topsoil, which is 150 mm, is what? 1475. So it means that our depth is what? 1475. So now we can now what? Measure. So click on this. The depth to be what? 1475. Convert it to meters is 1.475. Right, and you click on what? Okay. So now all we just need to do now is to what? Go to our drawing and then measure. Right, so now if you come here, now we can use this as a reference. Right, left click so that this pop-up can show. Then what? Right click the background. So now you can see now it is snapping. Right, so use it as a reference point. Right, and then select, or click rather, then make sure that you have what? 675, which is what? How wide the trench is. Right, you have to make sure it is what? 675. So yes, so now you can now what? You can now what? Measure. And then click on what? Escape. So you can see now that it has measured 2.8 cubic meters just for this trench that we've measured. Right, so what we are going to be doing is we are going to be doing this round for all the trench. So you can see this trench here, this trench here. We're going to be doing everything round. So how do we continue this particular measurement now? You go here to this foundation trench excavation, click on the green button here. This is not something new, we've been doing it since we started this series. So right, left click so that this thing can show if the snapping is not activating. Right, so right click on the background. You can see now it has activated. So all you just need to do now is to drag, click, make sure that it is what? 675 on the dot, then click. So you can use this as a reference point. Click, use this as a reference point, and what? Click. So you can see now it has increased to what? 3.6 cubic meters. So what we are going to be doing is that we're going to be continuing the process. So you can see we've measured here and it increased to 3.6 cubic meters. So we're going to continue. Now this one is quite different because you can see we have what? A junction here. So how do we go about it? It's easy. Right, so let's just use this as our reference point. And I want a perpendicular reference point too. So you can see it has intersected. So you click, use it as a reference. So you can see 675. Right. So now all you just need to do here is to make sure that you have what? Centralized. So you click on this point here, make sure you're centralized. Click on this point here, click on all the corners, make sure it's 675. Then you click on here, you can use this as a reference point. Click, click, click. And use this as a reference point. Click, reference point, click, and then back to the end point here. Click, and then you press what? Escape. So now you can see that we've already done what? This trench here, and you can see the volume has increased to what? 12.9 cubic meters. So that's how you continue doing everything till you finish all the trench. in this what drawing. So you're going to be doing this one, doing like basically all the trench here. Whatever it gives you is the total volume that you're going to be excavating for the what trench. So that is that for what foundation trench excavations. In our next video, we are going to be continuing the template creation until we finish all our taking off list for substructure.